Hi everybody and welcome to another session. Today we are working on the shoulders and this is a really cool technique. I've never seen anything like this one before in any other program, and it's a really fantastic way of releasing your shoulders, and when it's all done your whole spine will feel so much longer and straighter, and it's just a wonderful technique to do. So we're going to do this one lying on our side, so come to lying on your side. Actually, before you come to lying on your side, bring your hands around your ribs. So we always start by locating landmarks. So you've got your hip bone at the bottom, and you've got a soft area where the organs are, and then you've got the ribs. So put your hand where the ribs are. Now those lowest ribs here, we don't want to roll on those because they are too fragile. There's floating ribs and they're made of cartilage, not bone. So we don't want to be putting our full pressure on those. So put your hand around the ribs that we're avoiding, and where your thumb is, which is probably a few inches below your armpit, sort of level with the chest area, put the ball here. Okay? So we'll just check again, don't stress too much, but you just want to make sure you're not rolling way down on those lowest ribs. Put your hand there. Are the ribs covered? You're clear of those lowest ribs, that's fine. We're just working this upper area here, upper ribs into the shoulder. So we're not going to put a whole lot of pressure in this technique, but we are going to use our breathing. So big deep breaths and feel the ribs expand to the front, the back and the sides, and we're going to use the breath to really do a lot of the work today in releasing the shoulders. So reach out through your fingertips, nice straight line. Is your body in line with the edge of your mat? Nice straight line. Reach out through the fingertips, stretch, stretch, stretch. You can drop your head down. When you first do this, sometimes it can be a little bit uncomfortable with your neck, but you do get used to it with practice. You could put maybe another small ball underneath your shoulder here, rest your hand like this. I generally just rest my head down. So breathe, feel the ribs expand and release. And then I like to roll a little bit into the front and into the back. So to the front of the chest and round into the back. That's this lovely transverse friction technique that we can use with rolling. You can't use this with the roller, unfortunately, but this is a great way of loosening up the lats. That's where we're rolling into now, which get very tight. Okay, and now you're going to scoot a little bit further down your mat towards the base of your mat. Ball is moving slightly further up now. It's just below the armpit. Drop the head down, relax here, breathe. Nice deep breath into the ribs. Feel the rib cage pressing against the ball, and then we're going to roll a little to the front. And now we're sort of reaching, when we roll to the front, into the pectoral muscle area, and then as we roll back, we're hitting, we're getting towards the scapula. Loads of little muscles, tight muscles, all supporting the shoulder joint, and this is a really good way of releasing those. And then scoot down a little bit lower, press the head down. So we're probably getting into the armpit area about now. You know, if you have a longer torso than I have, you might still have a little bit further to go, so take your time. If you're shorter than me, you might be there already, but you know what, you can just keep rolling over the same point and it's going to be really good. So obviously, being mindful, if you have a shoulder injury and if this does not feel good for your shoulder, you may need to just release, you know, just do as much as you can, maybe just round the ribs or something like that. See what works for you. But on the whole, this should be a really lovely stretch on the shoulders. So you're in the armpit. Now you can press a little bit further. You're trying to get the ball right into the armpit itself. There's a pressure point in here for the heart and the lungs. And then you're rolling into the front, and that's really good for pecs, type pectoral muscles, and rolling to the back. And stretch, and then roll down a bit further, and now we're going into the upper arm. Drop the head down, and you can use the weight of the head. This is a bit easier to do now. Weight of the head into the upper arm. Breathe. Reach out through the fingertips. And here you're rolling across the upper arm, and you can turn the palms up and the palms down. So look at your hand, palm up, and then palm down. We're getting into the biceps and the triceps. Stretch and reach. Good. You can even do another point up there if you wanted to. If your arms get tight, you can work down towards your elbow, and it's a lovely stretch. Okay, and then when you're done, come up. And I always feel a bit lopsided after this one. The two sides feel really different. So it's so important to always do the both sides and keep yourself balanced. So again, before you lie down, just find where the lowest ribs are, the lowest floating ribs. Put your little finger there, and then wrap the rest of your hand around. So your thumb's at the top, and then that's where the ball's going to be. And then lie down on your side. Make sure you're in a nice straight line to the outside edge of your mat. Just check again, where are the lowest ribs? You're not pressing into them, you're a little bit higher up. Start up here, because we're rolling towards the bottom of the mat. So, yeah, just relax. Let your, just gentle pressure. Breathe into the ball, nice deep breaths. Stretching through your whole body. So a few breaths on each spot, and then I like to roll a little bit more to the front and to the back. And then scoot a little bit towards the bottom of your mat. The ball moves up towards your armpit. And same thing, drop your head down, rest here. Breathe into the ball, about 3 or 4 nice deep breaths. We're coming into the upper ribs. These get really tight. In fact, this usually is what creates frozen shoulders and things like that, when these upper ribs get really tight and locked together. So breathing into the stretch. And then rolling to the back and rolling to the front. So you're rolling into the pectoral muscles, and you can roll back towards the scapula, right across the lats. Good, you'll feel those big muscles at the front, pectoral muscles, just in front of the armpit. Now, ball comes into the armpit, relax here, drop the head down, stretch your whole body, take a few breaths. Now you can apply a bit more pressure, trying to get the ball right into the armpit. And then roll to the side and roll to the front. And roll to the side, back and roll to the front. You're trying to get it into those tight muscles at the front and back. Right in the middle of the armpit again, stretch, breathe. And then we're going to roll down a little bit further. Ball is now coming into the upper arm. Stretch that all out, drop your head down. Use the weight of your head to try and create more pressure into the ball. Let the muscles, the arms, the hand fully relax. Good, and then press into the ball and roll right across, palm up and palm down. and up, and right across those muscles. Good job. Stretch. And if you want to, you could do another one. So you're rolling out the arms right down to the elbow. Nice stretch. Keeping the two sides balanced. Okay, and then we're coming back up to sitting, and whew, that should feel really good on your shoulders. Now, the only thing is we have stretched and released the two sides. What we have to now, when we finish that technique, we always go right up the middle of the back just to lengthen everything, to lengthen the spine, because we've got new length in the torso, and we can extend that working up through the back. So, one we've already done before, but it's not so nice to do, rolling up the centre of the back. So, sitting up straight, ball on the floor, right on the sacrum. Inhale forwards, exhale, pressing back. And then lift the hips, roll the ball so it's now starting to come up the lower back. Lift and lower, feel this in your core muscles. Keep rolling. So exhale as you lift, using your tummy muscles. Good. Once you get sort of around the rib cage area, you can support your head in your hand. You can drop the head back here. Elbows towards the knees. Drop back, elbows to knees. Keep rolling up the back.